If you aren't supporting Mia Khalifa right now, get the off my page. You aren't a feminist. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you should probably do some research into how Mia Khalifa was literally manipulated and forced into the porn industry, and then after being manipulated and forced to make these videos, wasn't given proper cuts of her share.
Say it with me. Mia Khalifa was manipulated into doing porn, and she only made $12,000 even though her videos have over 800 million views. She is probably the biggest known name in the entire porn industry, and yet she only did porn for 3 months. She uses her platform to speak out about Black Lives Matter. She is a bad. We love her. We support Mia Khalifa. We stand Mia Khalifa. And if you still see her as a sex symbol, you.
All right, fellas, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about a campaign that I saw trending on Twitter the other day that was called #JusticeForMia. I see this thing trending and I'm like, what could this possibly be? So I click it. And come to find out, it's a campaign to save a woman's, I guess we could call it, intellectual property by the name of Mia Khalifa. Now, I've never heard of this woman in my entire life. I had no idea who she was, so I had to go and hit Google up for a second, and it says here, let me see, that Mia Khalifa is an American Lebanese sports commentator. So I guess that's what her career is here. It says, Mia Khalifa, also known as Mia Khalifa, is a Lebanese-American social media personality, sports commentator, and webcam model. And below it right here, it says people also, wait a sec, what it says, people also search for Angela White, Johnny Sins, Elsa Jean, and Piper Pear. Wait a second, these people aren't sports commentators. I feel like I know them from somewhere else. Mia Khalifa, come on, of course. The ex-porn star, one of the most famous porn stars to ever walk the face of the earth, I think, especially once the age of social media has taken off. Fellas, there is a campaign for justice to be served to Mia Khalifa. We're going to talk about it here in today's video. If you are new, make sure you subscribe or you have an extremely high chance of having small genitalia. Also, turn on your goddamn notifications so you can be a part of the buzz every single time a new video goes live. And last but not least, of course, watch the entire video, don't be a bitch. So fellas, Justice for Mia Khalifa is a petition here on change.org with over 1.7 million signatures as of the time we're recording this. It'll probably be up a little more by the time you see it. The original goal for this petition was only 300,000 signatures, so it's pretty safe to say that this has overwhelming support. Description here down here says, the now 27-year-old Mia Khalifa appeared in the porn industry for a short span of 3 months in 2014 at the then age of 21. She was only paid $12,000 from the millions of dollars that Pornhub and Bang Bros make off her videos. You guys may remember this from back in the day. I think this was maybe around a year ago, maybe even longer, but I remember it came out that she had said publicly she only made $12,000 off of porn, and a lot of people heard that and just like, how on God's green earth could that ever be possible? Because she's such a household staple name at this point. It's just like, how can you honestly let yourself get ripped off that badly? Says here, Mia and her team have provided countless financial offers to the current owners of her domain name and pornographic videos to no avail. Big corporations are not giving Mia Khalifa a fair chance to demand her content in court due to financial advantage. The infamous hijab video has collected ISIS death threats that have targeted Mia from the videos released in 2014 to today. Mia attends therapy on a consistent basis for trauma, emotional distress, and consequences of bullying. We are demanding her domain names be returned, her videos be removed, and fairly discussed in court without putting Mia Khalifa into deep financial ruin. Mia has stated her regret for her decisions in the porn industry multiple times. So it sounds like to me what is happening is that, you know, she got roped into doing porn or whatever. Maybe she got roped in. She did porn willingly at the age of 21, and whatever contracts that she signed and probably didn't really know what she was signing, and I'm sure this happens all the time in that industry. I'm sure all these girls get taken advantage of at some point or another. She basically signed away the rights to everything she was doing, and now she has no control over them whatsoever. So something I found very, very fascinating about all this while doing research, obviously for science, is that she only filmed 12 videos throughout her entire career. Apparently, you can only find 12 unique videos of her doing porn on the internet. So I was fascinated by this. So I had to do some further research, and I ended up going on the hub again for science. And what was interesting is it appeared, I don't know if it's her official Pornhub page. I think it might be, because it looks like it might be written by her. There's this bio right here that says, I am Mia Khalifa. Welcome to my Pornhub channel. Nothing on here will ever be apologized for. So if you're easily offended, I do not suggest watching my videos. This is my own personal journey on my road to self-discovery and sexual liberation. I am taking charge of my own fantasies and documenting them for the world to see. Are you ready for me? Doesn't sound like that's actually what ended up happening, but the number of videos on this page equals out to 154 videos, and there are actually over 3,000 videos with her name tagged in them on Pornhub. Now, usually I'm the type of fellow to go above and beyond and do the full amount of research. However, I just found this way too daunting and cumbersome of a task to achieve by myself. So if anybody out there can verify, maybe you've gotten to the point with her videos where you could consider herself a scholar. Apparently, of these thousands of videos that are out there of her, I guess it's what? Just all unique variations cut up from the same 12 scenes filmed over and over? That's pretty insane considering that her Pornhub channel alone, just on that site, has 633 million views. So straight up now, from an objective point of view, I don't think it's possible to have a more successful career than this. 633 million views off of 12 total videos for only working for 3 months. Like, can you imagine taking those numbers and applying them to a YouTuber? If that were to happen, that YouTuber would cash out so incredibly hard and basically just get rich overnight from ads. I mean, ripped off or not, we'll talk about that in a little bit because there's more to discuss here, but no matter what happened with her in these contracts, her career is nothing short of a miracle. Let's not deny that fact. And to be honest, I don't even know how she became as big as she did. I just always kind of thought her videos were not that great, I don't know, just not for me. And I had tried several times to give them fair chance. I really did. I'm a very open-minded person. But in any regard, she came into the industry for 3 months, filmed 12 videos, and just absolutely fucked shit up. And, for what that's worth, that needs to be commended. It really does. However, nowadays, she says that it's come back to haunt her. She said it several times within the past year, including instances such as September 2nd, 2019, says, I feel like people can see through my clothes. It brings me deep shame. February 2nd, 2020, Mia Khalifa opens up about life after porn. I am ashamed of my past. And now, most recently, the TikTok she posted on June 18th, which is the reason that this entire Justice for Mia campaign started. She says, that hour of dissociative attack from remembering hundreds of millions of people, only impression of you is solely based on the lowest, most toxic, most uncharacteristic 3 months of your life when you were 21. Also, she came out after this and agreed with another TikTok or something somewhere that she was manipulated into doing porn.
Mia Khalifa was literally manipulated and forced into the porn industry.
Mia Khalifa was manipulated into doing porn.
So let's talk about this. First thing I want to point out, and of course I don't know, the ins and outs of the contracts that they sign in porn, but I would imagine that a company like Bang Bros, when you sign a contract with them, that contract has to be absolutely bulletproof for them. I mean, it's just such a sensitive industry, and the work that you're doing is so private. And, I would have to go off on a limb and just guess that a lot of the girls end up regret what they're doing later on in life, maybe want that content removed. And I'm sure those lawyers at Bang Bros, Brazzers, and wherever else have that language in those contracts to make sure that that does not happen. So that's really honestly gotta suck, but unfortunately, it's not illegal or anything. It's just really, really scummy to take advantage of young kids like that. I can give you an example of one time that I was taken advantage of in a contract, and of course, guys, this is nowhere near like what Mia Khalifa went through, but here's an example from me. When I was in college, I lived in an off-campus apartment my senior year, so we weren't associated with the school at all. It was a completely separate real estate company. And here in the US, I don't know how it is in other parts of the world, but in the US, the school year typically lasts 10 months long. It's from late August all the way until early May. So, of course, when you're signing your contracts for your apartments, you only want to live there for 10 months. You only want to pay 10 months worth of rent. Well, my roommate and I walked in there and we said that exact thing to the company, and they were like, oh yeah, that's totally fine. That's whatever. 10 months, no problem. Come to find out, the contract they gave us, and we signed this without, we didn't read the contract. It was our fault. They gave us a year-long contract. So we had no legal recourse whatsoever. We found this out at the end of the year. Like when we were moving out, they were like, oh, you still owe us 2 months worth of rent. And we were like, no, we don't. What are you talking about? You said you gave us a 10-month contract. Well, guy pulls out the contract and it's right there in plain letters that we signed 12 months. So tough shit. That's literally tough shit and it sucks. But 21-year-olds are fucking stupid, man. I used to be one, so I could see why it's so easy to gloss over something like that. I just want to give some advice for any of young guys out there right now. If you ever sign a legal contract for any reason whatsoever, have a goddamn lawyer with you to go over it. It will be worth it because there's no worse feeling than realizing you got played in a legal contract. So do I feel for her for that? Yeah, okay, I could somewhat relate. I understand, and, I'm not going to be one of these guys that's like, oh, well, it's your fault. I mean, it is her fault. It is, but we could still feel kind of bad, right? I have a feeling some people are going to disagree in the comments. Now, next thing I want to talk about, all the views that these videos have gotten this whole time. So there was an executive actually that came out from the website Social Blade. I'm sure most of you guys know what Social Blade is, but if you don't, I'll just give you a quick summary. A third-party website that rates YouTube analytics based on views and, kind of gives you a rundown of how much money people might make from YouTube and what their subscriber, growth is and all types of stats from YouTube, but it's mainly about views and money and ad revenue. Well, Social Blade actually did an analysis on this exact topic, and it said, assuming that Pornhub has similar ad rates as YouTube does, her videos should have made her somewhere around $500,000 in ad revenue throughout the years. I think the exact number was like $508,000. Now, $508,000 is definitely a lot of money to me and you. To Mia Khalifa, it's still somewhat a lot, but not quite as much. According to Google here, and I know these aren't always totally accurate, but based on the best information available, her net worth is about $4 million. So assuming that is accurate, that would be around 12% of her net worth or so. So maybe to like an average Joe, like your parents or something, this would maybe be worth like $25,000. It's not a life-changing amount of money, but it's definitely a good chunk of change, so I could see why she would want it back. But the thing is with her, I don't really even know if it's about the money. I think she's just so ashamed of her past and what she's chosen to do in the porn industry that she just wants it gone and erased. And unfortunately, no matter what happens, that's just not gonna happen. Like, everybody knows Mia Khalifa is a porn star. Everybody. You could be into the sports scene, into like Barstool and whatever else she's involved with. She's more of a mainstream personality nowadays, but that is always gonna follow her. That's always going to be part of who she is. And the thing that sucks about that is like Mia Khalifa is actually her real birth name, okay? That's not like a stage name she chose, so I don't know. Maybe she should have chosen a stage name to go by when she started doing the sports thing to dissociate from it. But even if she did that, like, people would have still found out about it. I don't know. I don't see any real solution to this. And surely Bang Bros, a multi-million-dollar corporation that's armed to the hilt with lawyers, is not gonna see, oh, well, 3 million people signed a petition, let's just decide to be nice, because that's just money out of their bottom line. They're not going to do that. They don't give a fuck about a bunch of SJWs signing a petition online. They just don't. If it's legal, no matter how scummy it is, if it's legal, they're going to continue to do what they've done. And if that turns out to be true, that's just why I don't see this campaign really going anywhere. So do I feel bad? I mean, yeah, I kind of feel bad just because I've been in the position where I've been ripped off by a contract before. But at the same time, it's not like she's hurting for money, dudes, all right? She's got 3 million followers on Twitter, 21 million followers on Instagram. She's still got a ton of money to be made ahead of her. She's got a good career out in front of her, and she's rich, and it's kind of hard to feel bad for rich people most of the time, especially if it's about them losing out on some amount of money that's not really gonna make or break them. If she was stuck working at McDonald's or some shit right now, that'd be a different story, but that's not the case. So we'll see what happens. I'm not expecting anything to happen with this at all, but if it does, of course, we will bring you all the breaking news about it and give you an update. But in the meantime, you guys let me know down in the comments below what you think about this campaign. Very interested to see what the fellas have to say about it. And as usual, we'll get a conversation going. So that's it, dudes. If you enjoyed the video, do not forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe for more awesome, amazing videos just like this. Turn your goddamn notifications so you can be a part of the buzz every single time a new video goes live. And follow me on Twitter and Twitch. Links are both down below. And I'll see you dudes in the next video. Love you, bye. Stay safe, fellas.